Welcome back to another GTN unboxing. Now picture this, you're out on a ride, you're on your usual bike, you're on a standard route, but today it feels so incredibly hard. You check whether your brake's rubbing, no. And surely it can't be your legs, but maybe you've got a slow puncture. We've all been there, that phantom slow puncture. Well, today's unboxing could put an end to all those slow puncture worries and actually maybe help to improve riding performance. It comes from our friends and partners of the channel, Quarq. It is the Quarq Tyrewiz. And we have 3 of these to give away. And I'm sure you're getting the hang of this now, but I'll be explaining how you can get your hands on these at the end of this video. But for now, let's get stuck in. Okay, so these little devices are a first of its kind. They will read the pressure of your tyres in real time, meaning you can see the pressure of your tyres as you're pumping them up, as you're riding them, and even as you're getting a puncture. And to be honest, that's really just scratching the surface of what these can offer as cyclists and triathletes. But first of all, let's just see how you attach these to your bikes and wheels. For that, I need a wheel. So they are essentially just an extension of your valves from your inner tubes, your tubular tyres, and even your tubeless tyres. And all that's required is a removable valve core, which is this little bit here. And that's where this little tool from the Tyrewiz box comes in handy. It's a valve tool remover. And it's worth mentioning that removing valve cores isn't anything new or specific to Tyrewiz. So if you're anything like me and you're worried that you're going to lose a small tool like this, then it's likely you'll be able to get hold of a new one from your local bike shop. But now for how you remove it. So you just wrap the valve tool around the valve core and you'll twist it off. But I would recommend letting the pressure out from your tyre first, because these little valve cores have a habit of flying off at quite some speed. And then once that's off, you can then screw the Tyrewiz device on. And of course, make sure it's perfectly aligned, because I'm OCD like that. And then finally, you just need to pump your tyres up as you normally would, as simple as that. And probably by now you've noticed these flashing LEDs on the devices, and that is because they're trying to beam that all-important data to us. And that's the really exciting part, so let's get paired to them. Right, so they do this via ANT+, NFC and Bluetooth, either to your smartphone or directly to your bike computer head unit. And today I'm going to show you connecting to my smartphone using the Quarq Tyrewiz app. Okay, so it's a really straightforward pairing, and now I can see the exact pressure of the tyre, apparently to 2% accuracy, plus or minus 0.1 of a PSI resolution. In fact, to show you just how instant the feedback is on this, I'm just going to let a little bit of air out of my tyre. Pretty cool, eh? So also what this app can offer is a personalised recommended tyre pressure, and it does that by taking into account your body weight, your bike weight, your tyre width and your wheel size, and then it can alert you if your tyre pressure goes outside of that recommended range. So let's just input my own data and see what it comes out with. Right, for me it is recommending 84 PSI in the front and 90 PSI in the back. And I'll be honest, that's actually a little bit lower than I've been running in the past, but then I have been more or less second guessing my pressure until now, whereas there's been some very fancy mathematics and calculation that's gone into this to work that out for me. So I think I'll listen to this. But more to the point, how are these devices useful to us? Well, with varying road conditions, terrains and weather conditions from race to race, I really do think that these are fascinating devices to use over time, and potentially even performance enhancing. I mean, ultimately, our tyres are our contact point with the ground, and we want to make sure that we have adequate traction whilst reducing our rolling resistance, and all whilst making sure that we're comfortable. So this is where pairing with the bike computer head unit becomes really beneficial. On a number of units, you'll be able to see the real-time pressure values. So for things like pumping your tyres up on race morning, you'll be able to get them bang on. And when you want to check your pressure in your tyres just before you start, you'll be able to check without even needing to attach a pump. But it's this collection of data that I think is really interesting. So when you hit record on your head unit, it will record all your pressure values as well as all the usual stuff. So where I'm thinking this could be really useful is for perhaps one of those days when you just feel fantastic out on the road. You're cornering like a pro and you want to replicate that. So you can look back at your pressure values for that day. You can look at the conditions, the temperatures, and even the road surfaces. And you've got all that data on tap to you. I mean, that's just one idea, but perhaps also to see how it changes for hot and cold days, or even for those days when you just feel really uneasy descending, or you feel like you don't have traction like your training partners or competitors round the corners. It really is a tool to sort of utilize and to learn from in a similar way to a power meter. And I'll be honest, the whole temperature change and pressure change thing has intrigued me for years. I have heard of the odd mountain biker and cyclist actually running slightly lower pressures at the start of a race, factoring in this heat build-up and pressure change throughout the race. Now, I'm not recommending we all do this when we start with slightly lower pressures during a race, but it's certainly a really interesting topic to investigate and to learn from. And after all, we can just learn from collecting all this data and how it changes for different conditions. And then we can start to sort of fine-tune our tyre pressures for performance and for comfort for different courses and conditions. Finally, if you're worried about adding more things to your already lightweight bike, well, you'll be pleased to hear that these come in at just 10 grams per sensor. So barely noticeable at all, really. And as I showed earlier, super easy to install and to remove, so you can quickly change it from bike to bike and wheel to wheel really easily. Now for the bit I'm sure everyone's been waiting for, the giveaway. Time to get your fingers on the buzzers. Yeah, not quite ready, because I'm just going to send you to a link where you'll have to answer a question. So to enter that, you just need to go to the description below this video, click on that link, take you through to a very, very, very difficult question regarding these Quarq Tyrewiz devices. Again, I'm lying, it's not that difficult, but I do hope that you've been listening. And then we'll be announcing those lucky winners very soon. So good luck to everyone. But before you do head over to that link, do make sure that you click on the globe and subscribe to GTN. And if you'd like to see these Quarq Tyrewiz devices in action on a descent in Mallorca, you can see my tyre pressure for triathlon video, clicking down here. And if you'd like to see a clincher versus tubular change video, just click down here.